This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
9 Chelan County elected officers, 2 of them taking office for the first time, were sworn in Monday to start their terms. A communications outage that started with ISP giant CenturyLink and cut off 911 services to cell phones nationwide on Thursday, including most of Washington.
The Washington State football team broke several records last night in its win over the Iowa State Cyclones in the Valero Alamo Bowl. Now that sports betting is being allowed on a state-by-state basis, the diminishing industry of horse racing could be prosperous once again.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
So can you all please raise your right hands to be sworn in?
I, Robert Rivers,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
9 Chelan County elected officers, 2 of them taking office for the first time, were sworn in Monday to start their terms. Superior Court Judge Leslie Allen administered the oath to new officials including District Court Judge Kyle Mott and Chelan County Commissioner Bob Boogert, both entering office for the first time.
and will faithfully and impartially.
Perform the duties of the office to which you've been elected.
I am really looking forward to serving our community, serving our county, and also being a really good servant to the employees of Chelan County, because we've got some awfully good, dedicated employees here. I'm looking forward to that.
Boogert said he hopes to focus first on community wildfire protection projects. Kyle Mott, who just became a new father last week, said he was overwhelmed at the support he received during his campaign for judge.
The impact to me was the amount of friends and family and just people out there that are willing to help and support you. I mean, something like that is just completely humbling. So I look forward to doing them proud.
The former public defense lawyer takes the bench for his first hearings January 14th, taking over for retiring Judge Nancy Harmon. Boogert will start work with his 2 fellow commissioners almost immediately, taking the seat long held by Keith Gaynor, who was elected to the State House of Representatives. Jefferson Robbins, iFIBER 1 News.
This segment is brought to you by
Change doesn't have to be complicated. With a low-profile microwave hood combination that's ready to install right out of the box. It fits in the same space as your under-cabinet hood, so you can get your microwave off the countertop and make space for the routines worth keeping. The low-profile microwave hood combination from the #1 selling appliance brand in the USA.
Whirlpool Appliances, now available at more furniture in Ephrata.
A communications outage that started with ISP giant CenturyLink and cut off 911 services to cell phones nationwide on Thursday, including most of Washington, is now the subject of a federal inquiry. The disruption forced 911 centers in Chelan, Douglas, and Okanagan counties to default to non-emergency business lines starting about 9 p.m. Thursday. Similar outages were reported throughout the state and elsewhere in the U.S., including Missouri, Idaho, Wyoming, Massachusetts, and Arizona. Rivercom handles 911 dispatching for Chelan and Douglas counties. Administrators there couldn't be reached for comment Friday. Grant County's MAC 911 system continued to work normally, although customers with CenturyLink service couldn't call long-distance or 800 numbers. Emergency call services to all Washington agencies had largely been restored by Friday morning. The Louisiana-based CenturyLink is one of the largest telecommunications providers in the country. The disruption apparently began in a CenturyLink data center about 10 a.m. Thursday. Federal Communications Commission Chairman Ajit Pai called the outage unacceptable and said in a tweet, "I have spoken to CenturyLink to express my concerns and have directed the FCC's public safety staff to launch an investigation."
This segment is brought to you by
Your taste buds bored? Well, then bring them to Jay's Teriyaki. Not only does Jay's have a variety of teriyaki dishes, they also offer mouth-watering salads and sides. Call Jay's 509-764-5155. Jay's Teriyaki, located at 123 East Broadway in Moses Lake, because it's all in the sauce.
The Washington State football team broke several records last night in its win over the Iowa State Cyclones in the Valero Alamo Bowl. The most exciting for longtime fans was that the 28-26 win marked the first time that the Washington State Cougars have won 11 games in a single season in school history. Cougars quarterback Gardner Minshew II broke multiple records during the game yesterday. His 35 completions is an Alamo Bowl record, and his 299 passing yards put him at 4,779 passing yards for the season. That was enough to see him finish as the all-time single-season passing yards leader in Pac-12 history, beating Jared Goff's old record of 4,716. The Cougars dominated in the first half, leading 21-7 at one point. Iowa State scored 13 unanswered points to make the score 21-20 entering the fourth quarter. Max Borghi found painted grass with 10 minutes left to give the Cougars an 8-point lead. The Cyclones marched down the field and scored a touchdown but failed the 2-point conversion. The Cougars were able to run the clock out from there and hold on to win the game. The Cougars will await till the end of bowl season to see what their final ranking is, but they have a chance to finish in the top 10 for the first time since 2003. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports. Now that sports betting is being allowed on a state-by-state basis, the diminishing industry of horse racing could be prosperous once again as advocates aim to keep it alive. Horse racing has gradually been dying ever since new forms of gambling have been slowly introduced. Horse racing dominated the market in the 70s but took a huge blow when the lottery was created and tribal casinos took form. What was once a blooming industry, taking in over half of all the betting dollars, now collects with less than 1% of the pie. The Washington Horse Racing Commission isn't for or against sports betting in the state, but they hope to get a piece of the revenue pie if it does come to Washington State.
The revenue from sports wagering would go not only to support the track itself, but to increase purses, which then you get larger field sizes, and then you have more pari-mutuel wagering.
Delaware has approved sports betting, and horse racing has seen a drastic increase in revenue. Approved back in June, the horse racing industry in the Blue Hen State has brought in $500,000. If horse racing can't find a way to get betting dollars in some capacity, Moore fears the worst.
So you're saying it very well, if the issue isn't addressed, horse racing, professional horse racing could go away?
I feel strongly that it would go away.
Local legislator Tom Dent is a well-known horse lover. When questioned, he's heard little talk of sports betting coming to the state. Dent had no comment on how he felt about the proposed idea to boost horse racing, but he says he sympathizes with the now lackluster industry. Until more buzz sparks up on sports betting coming to the state, horse racers will just have to wait and see. I'm Adam Chikoski for iFIBER 1 Sports.
This is iFIBER 1 News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at iFiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.